George Glenn Jones was born on September 12, 1931, and became a renowned American country musician, singer, and songwriter. He gained international fame with numerous hit records and was celebrated for his unique voice and phrasing. In the last 2 decades of his life, Jones was often called the greatest living country singer and the Rolls-Royce of country music. From 1955 until his death in 2013, he had over 160 chart singles. George Jones grew up in Colmesneil, Texas, with a brother and 5 sisters. His father, George Washington Jones, worked in a shipyard and played harmonica and guitar, while his mother, Clara, played piano in the Pentecostal church. When Jones was born, a doctor accidentally dropped him, breaking his arm. At age 7, Jones first heard country music when his parents bought a radio. He would listen to the Grand Ole Opry on Saturday nights, insisting his mother wake him if he fell asleep so he could hear Roy Acuff or Bill Monroe. In his autobiography, I Live to Tell It All, Jones mentioned that his sister Ethel's early death exacerbated his father's drinking, leading to physical and emotional abuse. His father would come home drunk, wake Jones, and force him to sing. Despite this, Jones became passionate about singing. He remained resentful towards his father, who was a hard-working but excessive drinker. At 9, his father bought him his first guitar, and Jones learned to play at church. Jones left home at 16, moving to Jasper, Texas, where he sang on KTXJ radio with Dalton Henderson. He then moved to KRYK radio, where he met his idol, Hank Williams. Jones admired Williams deeply, stating he couldn't think or eat unless it involved Williams's music. In 1950, Jones married Dorothy Bonvillion, but they divorced in 1951. He enlisted in the United States Marines and was stationed in San Jose, California, until his discharge in 1953. In 1954, George Jones married Shirley Ann Corley. His first record, No Money in This Deal, was self-written and recorded on January 19, 1954. It was released in February by Starday Records, marking the start of Jones's collaboration with producer H.W. Pappy Daly. The recording took place in the living room of Starday Records co-founder Jack Starnes. At this time, Jones worked at KTRM, now KZZB, in Beaumont, where he earned the nickname Possum. During these early sessions, Daly advised Jones against imitating his idols, Hank Williams and Lefty Frizzell. Jones later recalled the poor production quality at Starday, describing the interruptions caused by passing trucks due to the lack of soundproofing in the makeshift studio. In 1955, Jones achieved his first hit with Why Baby Why. While touring with the Louisiana Hayride, he met and performed with Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash, developing a lifelong friendship with Cash. In 1956, Jones was invited to sing at the Grand Ole Opry. With Elvis Presley's rise in 1956, Jones was pressured to record rockabilly tracks. He reluctantly agreed, but later regretted it, jokingly referring to these records as frisbees in his autobiography. In a 2006 Billboard interview, Jones expressed his desperation at the time, explaining that he tried anything to support his family. He used the pseudonym Thumper Jones for these rockabilly recordings, hoping to distance himself from them. In 1957, Jones moved to Mercury Records and teamed up with Jeanette Hicks, his first duet partner. They achieved a top 10 single with Yearning. Starday Records merged with Mercury, and Jones's debut Mercury release, Don't Stop the Music, performed well on the charts. Despite his rising popularity, Jones continued to travel in an old Packard, performing at rural honky-tonks. George Jones experienced significant success between 1959 and 1964. One notable partnership was with Melba Montgomery, with whom he recorded several duets, including the hit We Must Have Been Out of Our Minds. In 1959, Jones achieved his first #1 on the Billboard Country chart with White Lightnin'. This song had a more authentic rock and roll sound compared to his earlier rockabilly attempts. As a songwriter, Jones was prolific during this period. He wrote or co-wrote many of his biggest hits, several of which became standards. He also co-wrote Color of the Blues, covered by Loretta Lynn and Elvis Costello, Tender Years, and Tall, Tall Trees with Roger Miller. His frequent collaborator was his childhood friend Darrell Edwards. In 1962, Jones signed with United Artists and immediately scored a major hit with She Thinks I Still Care. During this period, his voice deepened, and he developed his unique singing style. He also recorded albums of Hank Williams and Bob Wills songs. Jones gained a reputation as a hellraiser. Merle Haggard recalled meeting him in Bakersfield, California, where Jones showed up drunk but praised Haggard's singing, calling him his favorite country singer. Jones's admiration for Haggard was so strong that he once left his tour to meet him after hearing Haggard's song, I Threw Away the Rose. Jones was always backed by the Jones Boys on tour, a group that included many talented musicians, such as Dan Schaefer, Hank Singer, and Bobby Burkhead. In the 1980s and 1990s, Ron Gaddis served as the bandleader and sang harmony with Jones. Lori Morgan, who later married Gaddis, also toured as a backup singer in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Johnny Paycheck played bass for the Jones Boys in the 1960s, before achieving his own stardom in the 1970s. In 1964, Pappy Daly secured George Jones a contract with Musicor Records. Throughout the 1960s, Jones had several hits, including Walk Through This World With Me, 1967, Love Bug, Things Have Gone to Pieces, The Race Is On, and A Good Year for the Roses. His singing style evolved, influenced by Lefty Frizzle's idiosyncratic phrasing. Jones struggled with binge drinking and amphetamine use. In 1967, his second wife Shirley Corley hid their car keys to prevent him from buying liquor. Jones, undeterred, drove their lawnmower to the store. This incident was later humorously referenced in music videos. Jones married Tammy Wynette in 1969. They toured together and recorded several hits like We're Gonna Hold On and Golden Ring. Their volatile marriage ended in 1976, but they continued to perform and record together, reflecting their stormy relationship in their music. Jones's partnership with producer Billy Sherrill at Epic Records was unexpected but fruitful. Sherrill's lush arrangements complemented Jones's intense voice, resulting in hits like The Grand Tour and The Door. Jones co-wrote several songs during this period, including What My Woman Can't Do and These Days, I Barely Get By. By the late 1970s, Jones's substance abuse worsened. He was introduced to cocaine, exacerbating his paranoia. Financial troubles mounted, and he filed for bankruptcy in 1978. Despite his erratic behavior, Jones occasionally delivered powerful live performances, such as at Willie Nelson's 4th of July picnic in 1976. In 1979, Jones's condition deteriorated further. Weighing under 100 pounds, he was hospitalized in a psychiatric facility. Upon release, he resumed drinking. Despite his struggles, Jones's talent remained evident, with the New York Times later hailing him as the finest, most riveting singer in country music. By 1980, Jones had not had a #1 single in 6 years, leading many critics to dismiss him. However, in April, he surprised the music industry with He Stopped Loving Her Today, which soared to #1 on the country charts and stayed there for 18 weeks. The song, written by Bobby Braddock and Curly Putman, narrates a man's enduring love for his departed lover, culminating in her return at his funeral. Jones's heartfelt delivery, particularly the line, "First time I'd seen him smile in years," gave the song a poignant realism. This track is often hailed as one of the greatest country songs ever, alongside I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry by Hank Williams and Crazy by Patsy Cline. Jones, despite initially disliking the song for its morbid theme, acknowledged it revived his career, stating, "A 4-decade career had been salvaged by a 3-minute song." The song earned him the Grammy Award for Best Male Country Vocal Performance in 1980 and was awarded Single of the Year and Song of the Year by the Academy of Country Music. It also won the Country Music Association's Song of the Year in both 1980 and 1981. The success of He Stopped Loving Her Today led CBS Records to renew Jones's recording contract and sparked renewed interest in him. He was featured in an HBO special titled George Jones, with a little help from his friends, performing with artists like Waylon Jennings, Elvis Costello, Tanya Tucker, and Tammy Wynette. Despite his success, Jones continued to struggle with alcohol and drug use, often appearing inebriated at award shows and getting involved in high-speed chases with the police. In 1981, Jones met Nancy Sepulvado, a 34-year-old divorcee from Louisiana, who had a profound positive impact on his life. She managed his career, cleaned up his finances, and helped him avoid drug dealers, even when her daughter was kidnapped in retaliation. Jones credited Nancy with saving his life. He managed to quit cocaine, but had a drunken breakdown in 1983, leading to his hospitalization. By 1984, Jones performed his first sober show in over a decade and began making up for missed performances. He expressed regret for disappointing his fans and stressed that he was not proud of his past behavior. Throughout the 1980s, mostly sober, Jones continued to release successful albums with producer Billy Sherrill, including Shine On, Jones Country, You've Still Got a Place in My Heart, Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes, Wine-Colored Roses, Too Wild Too Long, and One Woman Man. His music video for Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes won the CMA Award for Video of the Year. In 1990, George Jones released his final studio album with epic You Oughta Be Here With Me. Despite notable tracks like Hell Stays Open All Night Long and the title song by Roger Miller, the album didn't perform well. Jones then moved to MCA, ending a 19-year relationship with Sherrill and Sony Music. His first MCA album, And Along Came Jones, 1991, produced by Kyle Leaning, sold better, but its singles struggled on the charts. In 1992, Jones's album Walls Can Fall received significant airplay, featuring hits like Finally Friday and I Don't Need Your Rockin' Chair. Despite declining radio presence, he continued recording and touring through the 90s. He was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1992 and published his autobiography, I Lived to Tell It All, in 1996, where he critiqued the contemporary country music scene. Jones hosted The George Jones Show on the Nashville Network in 1998, featuring interviews and performances with country stars. Notable late-career songs included choices from his 1999 album Cold Hard Truth, which won him another Grammy. In 1999, Jones had a serious car accident due to drunk driving, marking a turning point in his life. He quit drinking and smoking and released the Gospel Collection in 2003. Jones participated in a Johnny Cash memorial concert and received the Kennedy Center honor in 2008. Jones announced his farewell tour, the Grand Tour, in 2012. However, his health declined, and after multiple hospitalizations, he passed away on April 26, 2013, at age 81. His funeral featured tributes from many country music stars and was broadcast live on various networks. Jones was buried in Woodlawn Cemetery in Nashville, and his death was widely mourned, with radio stations playing his music in tribute. George Jones passionately defended the integrity of country music throughout his career. In a 2006 Billboard interview, he stated, "It's never been for love of money. I sing because I love it, not because of the dollar signs." Jones was also known for promoting younger country artists who shared his passion for the genre. Alan Jackson remarked in 1995, "Everybody knows he's a great singer, but what I like most about George is that when you meet him, he is like some old guy that works down at the gas station, even though he's a legend." Waylon Jennings echoed this sentiment in his song, It's All Right, and Merle Haggard compared Jones's voice to a Stradivarius violin. Emmylou Harris praised Jones's artistry, saying, "When you hear George Jones sing, you are hearing a man who takes a song and makes it a work of art." In 2023, Rolling Stone ranked Jones at number 24 on their list of the 200 greatest singers of all time. Unlike some of his contemporaries, George Jones stayed true to country music. Frank Sinatra once called Jones the second best singer in America. In a 1969 Rolling Stone interview, Bob Dylan named Small Time Laboring Man as the best song of the previous year. Dylan also mentioned Jones in his autobiography, stating that outside of Jones, he rarely listened to country music. Graham Parsons, a country rock pioneer, was a devoted fan. Richards admired Jones's voice, calling it the most expressive. He recorded "Say It's Not You" with Jones in 1994 and remembered Jones's performance in Texas in 1964 as masterful. Mick Jagger cited Jones as one of his favorite country singers. Leonard Cohen praised Jones's album Cold Hard Truth in a 2001 Rolling Stone interview, Jones's voice as the best in America. When Jones died, Cohen performed Choices as a tribute. Robbie Robertson compared Jones to Ray Charles, noting his emotional impact. Robert Plant stated he had to listen to Jones daily, calling him an amazing singer. In his later years, Mr. Jones preserved a traditional sound that had vanished from commercial country radio. "They just shut us off altogether at one time," he said in a 2012 interview with photographer Alan Mercer. "It's not right. You can't just discard something as significant as what we had without any regrets. They don't care about you as a person," he added. "They don't even know who I am in downtown Nashville." Thank you for joining us in celebrating the life and career of one of the greatest country singers of all time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories on iconic musicians and their timeless contributions to music. See you in the next video.